Alright, welcome back to Professor M Matrix Reviews. We did a recent review of the Power of the Primes Windcharger, and it just so happens to be that I was able to, luckily enough, at the local Walmart, find our new Studio Series Transformers the Movie Windcharger in stock and ready for pickup. So this is him in all his glory. We'll bring in the other Windcharger then once we kind of get this guy going. So let's take a look at his box here. So this is supposed to be his representation in the movie. So there's Windcharger. It shows that he technically is a deluxe class, although he's rather small for deluxe class. I find it rather amusing that the picture they show is the attack on Autobot City, when the only shot we saw Windcharger when he was in Autobot City was he was down and deceased. So this is kind of what he looks like from the back, and it says he uses magnetic powers to fight the Decepticons. So this is obviously the hanger pack of Windcharger. The box is kind of smaller than the other Deluxes, but Windcharger is also a smaller figure. So let's go ahead and get him out of his box here and take a look at him. So we'll go ahead and open up. And we'll close up the box and put that in the background here. And let's take a look at what we got. So we have our instruction manual, which looks to be fairly large. It shouldn't be that difficult to transform him. So we have our instruction manual that goes through his transformation status. Ooh, we have probably a warranty card. Ooh, warranty card. Let's set that aside. And here we have Windcharger and all of his glory, along with his accessories. So let's take a look at the accessories here, folks. So in the bag here we have, it looks like a gun and his magnetic effect. Let's open that up. I much prefer the paper storage of these versus what we got now with the plastic. Plastic's kind of a waste of plastic, obviously. So we have Windcharger's gun, and we have his magnetic effect, which we'll talk about a little bit later, so we'll set those off to the side. And so here we have Windcharger. Let's go ahead and free him from his tethered prison and get him out of here. And we'll take a look at Windcharger. So let's see, what did I miss? Did I miss one somewhere? I don't think I missed any anywhere. It should be free. Oh, they have him taped to the back of the box. That makes complete sense. Let's get him out. And we'll try to clean up some of these miscellaneous plastic doodads because they'll end up somewhere or somebody will eat them. And so here we have Windcharger, Deluxe Class Windcharger. So again, he comes with his little pistol here that he can probably hold nice and even in his hand. Oh, mine is a tight fit. So there, so he's got pistol ready to go. He's got his magnetic effect, which pegs right into his chest here and allows you to recreate some of the scenes from when he was in the cartoon where he uses magnetic effects to blast things. It is a tight fit. It can also be stored on his back here, as I remember correctly. Yep, there's a little peg in the back here where we can store it. So if you don't want it on his front, you can store it back here, and it'll be at least part stored out of the way so you don't see it. So let's take a look at his articulation here. So his arms, he's got pretty good abduction of the arms. He's got full rotation at the shoulder. He does have swivel at the biceps. Elbow curl, fine. I have seen people take these and rotate them forward or back, depending upon what look you want for Windcharger. Whether you want more of the look for the box here or more accurate to the cartoon. But he does have very tight elbow swivel. We're going to set his magnetic part out there. No wrist swivel. His hand is kind of fixed. Let's take a look. So he can T-pose fairly well. Not full T-pose, but I guess you'd call that almost a T-pose. A slanted T-pose, maybe. With his legs, he can kick all the way up. Oh, he can kick more than all the way back, so he's a perfect ballerina. Let's see if you can get him balanced in this way. He doesn't want to balance that way, but he can do some pretty neat ballerina tricks. Let's see about abduction of the legs. Oh yeah, he can pull off a full Jean-Claude Van Damme and shoot you at the same time. Let's see. We can get him standing in side stance for practicing the martial arts. he has fairly decent articulation. So let's look down at the feet here. So his feet doesn't have a ton of movement. He does have some knee swivel, which will allow you to get him in some pretty aggressive poses for shooting and for taking out Decepticons. Let's see. He can... How much knee flexion does he have? He does not have a ton of knee flexion. Oh, that is tight. You can get more knee flexion by moving that out of the way, but he doesn't have a ton of knee flexion, obviously, because that bends in the way. Overall, decent articulation. I'd say that's a fairly solid articulation on him. Let's look at his head. He does not have a ton of rotation. Oh, there it goes. There's his rotation. And then there is this knob on the back here that slides up and down, or switch. And this allows him to look up and down. So he can look up at the sky for the Decepticons coming in. But that's pretty much all of his articulation. He does not have a waist... Well, he does have some waist swivel there. It's very tight. Oh, there we go. Mine is very tight. So he does have waist swivel. He has no ab crunch. I guess you can simulate ab crunch with hip flexion. But not a lot of waist swivel there at all. So that's pretty much him in his robot form. Let's take a size comparison here. So let's put him standing, and who do we have here? So I have totally not Studio Series 86 Megatron, so you can see that he is much smaller than he is. This is the ST-04 Guardian Warrior Megatron, but definitely smaller than he is. So we've got the Autobot symbol on the front. We don't have too much marking elsewhere. We can also see on the front of his car he's going to have the Autobot symbol as well. There are significant gaps pretty much throughout the whole thing, especially in the back here. That bothers me the most. We've got gaps all throughout here. We've got all these open pegs in the back, and that gap in the stomach for the rotation, I don't know why, but that really bothers me. But we've got that gap there. So let's go ahead and take a look at this and see about maybe transforming him here, and we'll get going and take a look at what he's doing. So let's get rid of his gun here for a second. If I can get it out of his hand, it's a very tight fit. We'll put that back here with this magnetic thing. And so let's see if I can figure out his transformation without pretty much going into anything at all. Let's see. So he's got the full accordion effect here. I can see that already. So we're going to bring him all the way out. There's the whole front of his car. So we can snap all this together. This is pretty ingenious, actually. Everything we can see, we've got pegs and peg holes. So we're going to bring the peg holes together, snap everything nice and tight together. And we should have some stuff up front here. We do. That connects, it makes everything one nice, neat car effect. So then we're probably going to have to take these arms and bring them up and in, and I'm guessing there is, you need to bring this windshield up and back. My figure is very snug, so I don't want to break him here. So let's take a look and bring his windshield portions up and back. It is snapped in there, so that's probably why it's taking so long to get it out. Don't want to break it, but also at the same time, it does get a little bit of force to get it out. So come on. Let's see. So we're going to bring the arms up and in like I have with that other one, so peg those up and in. And we're going to rotate the wheels. Oh, we got the wheels back here. We got to rotate out. That would probably help. So he has rear wheels, right? So there's his rear wheels, and there's the whole rear, top, actually the whole car. And that's all going to accordion up and over once we get everything set up here. This piece does not want to come up and out. There we go. Now it popped up and out. Just took a little bit of finagling. And so that's going to snap back in here. You can see those two plastic pieces in there. They're going to mate in there. And then the arms are going to sit snugly inside once we get the wheels set properly, which is probably going to be down, not up. So now They're going to come in. I'm going to assume there's pegs for them. Let's take a look here. So we got the wheels facing the right way. And the arms are going to come in. The arms are going to come in. It'd help if I have the wheels facing the right way on this side, wouldn't it? There we go. So this is why you don't do transformations live. Oh, I gotta fold the fist up. That was what I forgot. I remember now. So I fold my fists up, and that's going to give clearance then. Put them under there. Unsnap that. So the arms are going to go in then. Arms are going, I remember now. So arms are going to go in, the arms are going to go in. And then that's going to snap down on top of them. So that's going to provide coverage for the fists. So that's got to come back some more. There we go. So we're snapped in. And then this is all going to, should all just accordion up and over for him. And it's going to accordion up and over. Okay, and there we have him in his alt mode. I believe this was supposed to be a Pontiac Firebird, if I remember correctly. All of his wheels are pinned, so they have pretty fairly decent motion. We've got the Autobot symbol there. Got some clear windows going throughout. Got some clearance I gotta get going there, clearance. And overall, he rolls exceptionally well. There's not too much showing. Obviously, it's just Windcharger on the bottom. But on top, it looks fairly sharp. And we can take the actual gun, and it says to take the gun, and you can post it in here against this wheel going forward. So we can post it in against the wheel going forward like that. And that's stored away. I actually kind of like it going backwards, because it kind of makes it look like he has an exhaust pipe going out the back of his car. So let me try that here. So we're going to take it and exhaust pipe it back along that wheel. There we go. It's a snug fit. And that kind of looks like he's got an exhaust pipe going out the car. His magnet part can also clip onto the front of his car here. So you can make it look like he's using his magnetic power from the front of the car as well. So it clips on, and then he's got that there for storage. Again, really rolls really well. Got clear windshields. Not a lot of brittle plastic on this one. Everything's nice and neat and form-fitting. So let's take a look at some size comparisons. So here's the current Deluxe class cliff jumper. Here was the previous cliff jumper here, and he came apart a little bit on me. He's definitely a little bit smaller than the current cliff jumper, so that's kind of nice that they made him a little bit bigger. You know, when you look at them side by side, you can still see the definite overall appearances of them. You can see how they kind of match up. They both have the nice louvered backs, windows. I prefer the blue windows versus the dark smoked windows that you have in this one. He rolls a little bit better than this cliff jumper. So overall, smooth rolling. Let's take a look at him next to some larger vehicles then. So we'll put him kind of in the back staggered. So here he is next to Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Crosscut. So they're fairly matching in size. Here's Deluxe Class Ironhide next to him. Again, colors match pretty well. He's a little bit more vibrant than Ironhide is. And then, of course, the bring out a big gun here for measurement. Here he is compared to Generations Class Wheeljack. And you can definitely tell that Wheeljack's probably head and shoulders larger than he is. But overall, I'd say this is a really good figure. He rolls really well. He transforms pretty intuitively. The whole accordion effect is really a nice effect with Windcharger. I'm really happy that I was able to find him. Let's take a look at size-wise. So in vehicle mode, he's about just under 4 inches long in vehicle mode. So again, not the longest vehicle in the world, but definitely one of the better. So to transform him back, we just have to go ahead and pull out his gun, and we'll pull off this magnetic piece, and then everything just kind of accordions up and over him. That makes it easy. So once you get it up and over, then you can separate the legs, and then everything is just going to fold in on itself. So that's going to fold in, that's going to fold in, that's going to fold in, and it all just folds in to form his legs here. And then it's going to peg in to itself right there and form his legs. So accordion, 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 until it comes in. And again, you can see where that peg is, and it's going to peg in, form his legs. Once it's pegged in there, nice and neat and doesn't pop off on you, like mine is seeming to want to do right now. There we go. Then we just bring the arms. First of all, lift up the clear blue plastic part in the back here. That's going to form his back. And then you can bring out the arms. The arms are pegged in, obviously, so you want to be careful when you pull them out. Pull them out. And then this part is just going to come up and snap into place on his back there like that. And again, fairly easy transformation both ways. I like the accordion effect. That is a unique feature. Let's take a look at his size now that we've got him back in robot form. So size-wise, we're talking another 5 inches. So he's not a very tall figure again, but he's a really nice figure. I like the way he looks. He definitely is an improvement over the previous Windcharger. So let's bring out his fist. I almost forgot to do that. He's going to walk around and not be able to grab anything. You know, put his gun in his hand. So interestingly, I'm a lefty, and I tend to put the gun still in the right hand, which is kind of odd. But he overall looks pretty nice. You know, from standpoint, he rotates very nice. This should peg back in a little bit better here. I did not peg it in. There we go. But again, this is a look at the Studio Series Transformers the Movie Windcharger. Overall, great figure. I'm glad for this pickup, and I hope you'll follow me for more videos in the future. Thank you very much.